If you were invited to a private island and could only take 5 items of clothing, what would they be and why? Pepper spray, sweatpants, a pocket knife, socks, and a hat, which I would also hide a weapon under. I don't care what I'm wearing, I just want to survive. Hi, I'm Zoe Kravitz, and Esquire has asked me to explain some things. So let's do it. What inspired you to write and direct Blink Twice? The idea to write something, it kind of came from an itch that needed to be scratched. There was a feeling I was having that I didn't know how to exercise. And I wanted to explore a world where women specifically stopped playing by the rules. And then it was kind of just birthed from there. The film was originally called Pussy Island. Tell us about the change to Blink Twice. Before I even wrote the script, I wrote down on a blank piece of paper, Pussy Island. And so it was pretty hard to let go of it. But the patriarchy said no. It makes people feel uncomfortable, which was kind of the point, but it got to the point where people were like, we won't even put this on a billboard. We won't put this on a kiosk. So it was just getting in our way. But interestingly enough, they tested the title, and the people who were most offended by it were women, which obviously was not my intention. This movie's made for us. But the spirit of Pussy Island, the punk rockness of Pussy Island is still in the movie. It's infused into the movie, into the story. So I think it all worked out exactly the way it's supposed to be. And I like Blink Twice. I like that title a lot. So you've created a brilliant psychological thriller. Why, thank you, Esquire. What other movies in that genre have freaked the hell out of you? Genre films in general are my favorite kinds of movies. They've always been that way. I remember seeing The Exorcist when I was 12 and loving it. Rosemary's Baby is probably my all-time favorite film. I love psychological horror. I think exploring the horror of being alive and living in a society, and we're so fragile. Our brains are so fragile, and once you start to question your reality, which I think everybody does from time to time, it's so scary. Blink Twice primarily takes place outdoors. Were there any challenges to that choice? Yeah, it was Mexico in the summer, so it was so fucking hot. Yeah, in terms of lighting things and stuff, you kind of have to just embrace it. Even makeup, we just kind of gave up trying to fight the sweat and kind of tried to just use it for the film, which I think worked quite well. And the bugs. Yeah, it was intense. But again, everyone was so happy to be there, we made it work. What surprised you most about your week preparing to host SNL? SNL is so crazy. That experience is so crazy. You don't sleep and you don't know what's going on and you don't know what's happening until you're doing it, and you're just it's like a fever dream. I just remember the experience of everyone telling me just relax, it will be fine, it will all come together. And I was like, that's impossible. You don't, that's not, what are you talking about? And then it does. They were right. And then it's over. It feels like jumping out of a plane. It feels like skydiving, which I would never do. I've seen your incredible dedication to your art, but mostly I've seen through your shirts. You famously roasted your dad's love of sheer shirts. How much has his style influenced yours? I too wear sheer shirts, so I really shouldn't be talking. I think what my dad has done, which what the roast was kind of about, is a commitment to what you like and what works. My dad's always taught me to have fun with clothes, not to take it too seriously, and, do what you feel and not necessarily change with the trends. It's important to let clothes or be an expression of how you feel inside. What creative influence does your mother have on you? I'm so obsessed with my mother. I'm obsessed with her in every way. I just think she's the best, and her honesty and the way that she knows herself has never, ever, ever allowed the world to tell her who she is or what she wants to be. She just always reminds me of what's real, and I'm so grateful for her. She's the shit. My mom's the shit. High Fidelity has such a passionate group of fans. What do you miss most about playing Rob? I cannot get over the death of the show. And I feel like every time I try and get over it, some wonderful person comes up to me on the street and reminds me, and I get upset all over again. Like this. It happens to me all the time, and I'm so sad. I'm so sad about that show. It meant so much to me, and I see now that it meant so much to other people, and I feel like we had so many places to go. It's been amazing to see our cast like just soar, you know, with Divine, who won an Oscar, and Kingsley and Jake Lacey, and everybody is just killing it. And so I miss everything. I miss everything about Rob. I'm sad. Mad Max Fury Road was a grueling shoot. What did you learn from the experience? Watching George Miller work was, you know, just incredible. He's so passionate, and I think, you know, one of the first directors that I worked with where I just really saw how important the care was, and that there's no such thing as caring too much. And also to see someone do something like that scale of film done all practically. I mean, there's almost no greens. Everything is really in that desert. Everything is practical. So you were really immersed into the film, and I think you see that, you know, when you watch the movie. It feels so real. So yeah, just watching George work was epic. Were you a Harry Potter fan before signing on to Fantastic Beasts? No, I was not. I have not read any of the books, nor have I seen the movies. Sorry. It's not to be offensive, it's just that I just didn't. It was like when I was in school, everyone was reading them, and you know, you're that kid that's like, everyone's reading this, I'm not gonna read this, and then I just never did. But I'm also not like a huge fantasy person. For some reason, it's like the one genre that like I like, but it's not my favorite. Just being honest. When was the last time you did karaoke, and do you have a go-to song? When we went to shoot the movie, when we were doing prep, we went in Mexico City. Natalie Imbruglia, Torn, or Santeria, Sublime. Those are my karaoke songs. Which of your characters would you most want to sit down for a meal, and why? Selena Kyle, absolutely. I mean, Rob, because we love her and we miss her and we want her to come back, and we think that someone like Netflix should probably call and do that. Angela, she would not want to leave the house. I would have to go to her, and I would. That's it. Rapid fire director hot seat questions. What's one thing you've learned from each one of these directors you've worked with? Natasha Lyonne, go big or go home. Steven Soderbergh, don't overshoot. He does 2 takes, done. George Miller, there's no idea that's too crazy. Matt Reeves, care conquers all. He just cares about the movie so much. Tell us about the casting process and how you knew Naomi Ackie was the perfect choice to lead the film. Naomi Ackie, I love you. I love you so much. I'd seen her work in End of the Fucking World, which she's fantastic in, and I had seen Master of None. Her performances are just jaw-dropping. The script is also pretty far out, and so, you know, I had sent it to a few people, and we had a Zoom, and she just instantly understood what I was trying to say, the world I wanted to create, the characters. Like, it was just so easy. I didn't have to explain anything to her. Yeah, she's just a dream come true. And just also her bass. Oh my God, gorgeous. You're filming on an island, it's the pandemic, you still look freaking chic on set. Explain. I don't know. I have looked back at pictures and I was like, these outfits are kind of cute. Definitely was not what I was thinking about. I bought like 14 pairs of Patagonia shorts in all different colors, and then would wear like a sports bra with them and a hat, and then put some shirt over it. And then I had these like bags that I would wear that had like my headphones in them and my everything. And it was just, people could like hear me coming with this like fanny pack. Loafers. I was very into my loafers and socks. There was a lot of like dresses and shorts with loafers and socks. I was trying to feel like professional adults. I also wore a lot of dad sneakers though as well. What was the hardest day on set for both you and your cast and crew? One of the hardest scenes to film that we couldn't get right for so long is this scene with Naomi and Audria. It's terrifying and it's also quite funny because the situation is so insane, and it just wasn't working and I couldn't figure it out. And I realized it was because they're too good of actresses. And so they were acting, but I believed that they were okay. And then halfway through the day, I was like, oh, I have to tell them to act badly, which is to go against everything that you guys know and just be bad actors. But I remember that day, I thought we weren't going to get the scene, and then we figured it out. So that was one that was great. And then Chan has this incredible monologue at the end of the movie, which just, he's amazing in it. And it was so amazing to watch him, you know, do something so different and so brave and so bold and so vulnerable, and it's a monster of a scene, and he's exquisite in it. Thank you, Esquire. That's all I got. And please go check out Blink Twice in a theater near you.